Let's talk stock price quotes for beginners. For beginners, okay? So if you are looking for somebody to treat you like an idiot that doesn't know anything, perfect. This will be a video for you because this is, again, for beginners. So if you're just getting started in investing and trading and you've heard of price quotes and stuff like that, but you're not quite sure what they are or how to read them, that'll be the point of this video. So let's get to it. Now, first thing is all price quotes are going to be a little different. All sites will operate a little differently, but at the core, they're going to have some basic key things, and those will be the ones that I focus on most. So I'm just going to use Yahoo Finance. I don't know, maybe you're watching this video 10 years from now, Yahoo no longer exists. But like I said, at the end of the day, they're all going to still be telling you the same information. Now, the first thing is you come up here and you can search for a variety of things. Really, symbols or companies. Now, well, what happens if I don't know a symbol? And jargon-wise, a ticker symbol would be more specific. A ticker just means the abbreviation of a company. But let's just first start by you saying, well, I don't know the symbol. I don't know the ticker symbol. Well, do you know the name of the company? And let's just try here, Apple. So type in the company name. Well, first off, spell the company name right. There we go. That'll be a key dynamic. And right here, do you see that AAPL? That is the ticker symbol. So that could have also been brought up if I knew that AAPL, you can see you're getting the same thing. So let's just click on that, and that is going to bring up the actual price quote. And the price quote, like I said, everybody's going to be different, but essentially it's all this right here. It's just what it started off with, and that's going to give you a brief insight into just some of almost the Cliff Notes version of a stock. Just give you the summary of things, and that way you can kind of just glance at it. So the first thing is just up here, the market it trades on right here is the NASDAQ, the name of the company, the ticker symbol. We've already talked about those. And then here's where we get into the price information. And there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind relative to the price information. And that is why I like Yahoo and other sites that do this, because they show that there's actually two time frames that stocks are trade in and that you can get data from. The normal market hours, which are 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. and then you have pre-market and post-market, where there's price fluctuations that occur before those core times of 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can see that via right here where it says at close 4 p.m. Eastern time. At close just means the close of the stock market for the day. But that's where things get a little confusing because, well, technically the market didn't close just normal market hours, because you then have after hours, and that is why this price right here is still changing. Because in after hours trading, as of the recording of this video, the market is still open, and that is why you just saw that price fluctuate, and I'm sure it'll fluctuate some more. There it is, just fluctuated once again. So that's where the price closed at the end of the day. But okay, Clay, well, what price ultimately matters? Well, what the price that ultimately matters is going to be that one, because that is the current price. So like I said, a little bit goofy, but that's just how the market is set up. And then right here we have what is called a technical chart, more specifically a line chart. Now, technical analysis and charts, that's a whole sector of information, and I am a technical trader, so if you want to learn more about charts, then I offer a lot of videos on the channel about that. But just for simplicity's sake, this is what is known as a line chart, and this is just telling you what the stock price has done. And right here, this is going to be the key over to the different ranges of time. So right now, it is on 1D for 1 day, meaning this is what Apple did today. And right here, you can see this is actually the pre-market. We're 6 a.m., 8 a.m., and then the market finally opened right there. And then you have 4 p.m., and then you can, if you see this, different shade of gray, that's just showing us that this is now going to be the after hours trading. But let's just say, well, what's it done over the past 6 months? If you click on that, then you get a different view of things, and now you're seeing no longer times, but you're just flat out seeing months, right? So that is just showing you a longer time frame. And let's just go really, let's say the past 5 years. And now you don't have months, you literally have years down here, which is just showing you what the price of Apple stock has done over the years. So now we'll come down some more, and this is where you get just basic pricing information. So previous close, that is just telling you where did Apple stock close the previous day. And that was at $216.67. So when you look up here at the current price, you can see that, okay, well, actually Apple is down a little bit because it's now lower than where it was on the previous day. Right here, the open just means where the stock price opened on the day. It opened at $217.59. The bid and the ask, that's a little bit more in depth. Just understand that all stock prices technically have two prices. You have the price that people are wanting to buy for, which is the bid. So remember that, just buy, bid. And people wanting to buy at 202.41. And then the ask is the price people are looking to sell at, and that is at 224.35. But as of right now, because the market's closed, these ones get a little squirrely. But just realize that the bid and ask, that's a whole separate, again, kind of like technical charts. Level 2s is something more in depth. But as a beginner, you just need to know really that price right there. What is the current price of things? If the market was open for the day, then it would be all about that price right there. So you just got to figure out, when am I looking at this? If you're watching at it, and that's why I like Yahoo, like I said earlier, because at least it's telling you after hours right now. So for beginner's sake, these are going to be the prices that you care about. Don't get too hung up with the bid and the ask. The day's range is exactly what it sounds like. It just tells you the fluctuation for the day. Apple at one point was as low as $213 and then as high as $218.63. The 52-week range, that you could just call that the yearly range, right? 52 weeks in a year. So over the course of the year so far, Apple has been as low as 164.08 and as high as 220.20 cents. And then right here we have the volume for the day. That is how many shares exchanged hands. Over 79 million, which is just crazy when you stop and think about it. And then the average volume is 64 million. So just looking at these, you could say that today was an above average volume day. Market cap, this is where we start to get into some what would be known as fundamental indicators. So, and that would fall under the umbrella of fundamental analysis. So I'm just trying to give you some terms if you want to run more searches for that. But fundamental analysis is just telling you the current value of Apple, and that is pretty crazy, over basically $3.3 trillion. Beta is just a metric that tells you how volatile the stock is. In other words, how crazy it is. And the higher the variable, the better, the more volatile it is. So Apple is at 1.25. So kind of a stock that moves all over the place. But let's just pull off one here that would have more of a, I'm guessing this one's going to have a higher beta. Okay, this one's too new to not even have one. So see what NVIDIA is. So there we go. NVIDIA, now you're up at 1.69. And then let's find one that would not be very volatile. So let's just go to at&t. Very slow moving stock. And you can see right here, beta is at 0.74. So we'll go back to Apple just to keep it consistent. PE ratio, again, that's one of those fundamental, type metrics. Price to earnings ratio, that's just telling you, like I said, that's a whole video in and of itself. EPS, earnings per share, again, one of those fundamental metrics. But as a beginner, you don't necessarily need these right away as far as a price quote. But like I said, just wanted to tell you what they are. So if you want to run further searches, or if you're interested in me making a video on one of those, of course, you can just leave a comment below. Always looking for feedback. Over here, we have earnings date. Because they're publicly traded companies, they do need to announce their earnings publicly to keep people, in the loop of what's going on. And that's always, that's a date that's known in advance. So it's telling you right now, it'll be between those dates. And then we have dividend information. And real quick, dividends, I love them. They're a great form of passive income, and they're just really, some stocks will pay you for simply buying and holding onto it. Not all companies pay a dividend, but a lot of stocks do. So again, they're literally, I always call it just a thank you card. It's like a thank you card for saying, hey, thanks for buying our stock. Thanks for investing into our company and holding. So here's a thank you card, but it's a thank you card with some money in it. That's essentially what a dividend is. So we have the dividend information. So for every share of Apple that you own, they will pay you $1. And as of right now, the yield comes to 0.46%. So this would be a very low dividend. But once again, let's go to at&t so you can see what a more higher dividend would be. So right here, for every share you own, you get paid $1.11, which doesn't seem like much, but you have to keep in mind the share price is a whole lot lower. Therefore, the yield, or in other words, that's essentially an interest rate that is paid to you. I want to say that again. That is an interest rate paid to you. So not like a mortgage rate where you're paying it out. No, this one's being paid to you. And on at&t right now, 6.28%. So a very, very nice dividend yield being paid to you. We'll once again go back to Apple though. We'll stick here. So the ex-dividend date is just telling you when you would need to own shares by in order to get paid that dividend. And then 1 year target estimate, that's just, honestly, I don't know where Yahoo was pulling that from, but somebody somewhere thinks that, the 1 year target estimation is going to be, the price up at 1971. But I would put I want to put much faith or no pun intended, stock in that at all, because that's, like I said, who knows where that's even coming from. And not every single, provider is going to have that. In fact, just a minute. Okay, so let's take a look at Google Finance here. So same general thing right now. We have after hours, so all this should start to look pretty familiar. We have the price where it closed, but again, this is the price that matters. We have the line chart. Over here, we have previous close, days range, years range, market cap, average volume, P ratio, dividend yield, then primary exchange like I talked about. So really, I like Google better because Yahoo had a lot of other ones that I would argue are kind of irrelevant. But Google does a good job of just summarizing the main price points that you really would care about, specifically the dividend yield, maybe a range, the volume, and of course just the price. But so if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely go with Google. And I've actually always kind of used Yahoo. Maybe I'm revealing my age in that. But yeah, Google right here, I'm glad I checked out of curiosity because I would say this is a whole lot more clean cut. But this also just shows, again, an unintended lesson here within the video that, yeah, hop around the different financial sites. Some of them may give you way too much. Some of them may give you a clean cut picture. But regardless, wanted to show you at least what all these points mean and represent. Now, I don't say this to brag, but as somebody that's been in the market a very long time now, some of the stuff I just think is, it's just obvious to me, but maybe I totally missed something. Maybe you saw something like, wait, Clay, you didn't talk about that, but I was wondering about that. Please comment down below and I'd be happy to provide any clarity. I don't do that intentionally. I'm doing my best to put myself back into a beginner's shoes, but it's been a while. So if I missed something or I assumed that you would have known something or I said something and didn't quite offer up enough clarity, seriously, please comment below and I'd be happy to expound upon anything that maybe I didn't quite go into enough detail about. So I hope this helps. I hope you now can look at a stock price quote, feel a little bit more confident in terms of what you're looking at. And again, if you have any other questions or anything like that, definitely leave those down below, especially if you want to learn more about dividends. I do offer videos on that too. So you're like, well, can you talk a little bit more about dividends? Like I said, comment below and I'd be happy to link you to one of those other videos on my channel. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.